Although most GIs joined the war as an act of patriotism, they were ultimately unprepared for the hardships of the war, resulting in them suffering extensive physical, emotional, and mental damage. Despite this, they gained a sense of renewed loyalty to America. GIs got their name because their items were often labeled Government Issue, or GI. Soldiers had GI soap, GI socks, GI helmets, and GI rifles. For that reason, they began referring to themselves as GI soldiers, or simply GIs. The name stuck, and fighting men in all the armed forces used it proudly. By the time of the Pearl Harbor attacks, the Army forces of men entering the draft from ages 21 to 35 swelled from 300,000 to over 1.5 million, and by the end of the war, the age gap widened to men from 18 and 44, working side by side, allowing the American forces to jump to 6 million men fighting the war overseas, showing their immense patriotism. During many of the battles of the war, many soldiers, even those with extensive training, were overwhelmed by the brutal and surreal conditions in the battlefield. Like the deafening blasts of artillery or grenades, the squeal and clatter of tanks on the move, and the billowing clouds of smoke all combined to create a surreal atmosphere. These intense moments of the war brought out its brutality, breaking many soldiers, and scarring them for life, causing them to relive the horrors of the war and refeel the heart-pounding sense of doom in the battle zone, where uncertainty ruled. Surviving the war opened the eyes of these veterans to the freedoms offered by American liberty and gained a new sense of pride in themselves and their country. New soldiers were unable to escape the paranoia of being in the battlefield. Soldiers knew they could die at any time, especially if they were crossing an open field or storming a beach under heavy enemy fire. New soldiers especially tended to freeze at the first sign of danger, and they saw danger everywhere. Experienced soldiers learned to distinguish the real dangers, such as the sound of an enemy tank or incoming artillery, from the din of water. Yet even battle-hardened veterans often felt a heart-pounding sense of doom in the battle zone, where uncertainty ruled. Under the stress of war, soldiers developed strong bonds of friendship. The reason you storm the beaches is not patriotism or bravery, one rifleman recalled. It's a sense of not wanting to fail your buddies. These friendships were born as a byproduct of boredom. Letters from home were major gifts between battles because soldiers suffered from boredom and homesickness. Many soldiers returned home physically, emotionally, and mentally scarred by the war. However, some may not have returned home at all.